Hey guys, Decaf here with another pandemic first kill. Yay! Today we're taking down Maloriak as we continue our way through Blackwing Descent. And Maloriak here was actually really kind of a toss-up of a fight because the mechanic is really easy on a term of raid awareness because he really only has three different phases that repeat. A red phase where you stack up, a blue phase where you spread out, and a green phase where you burn down the mobs that he spawns. So on paper, the fight seems really easy from really any perspective, whether you be a DPS healer or tank. However, the execution is kind of different because for me being a shaman, my role was to watch for him spawning the ads during the raid. And during our attempts here, our general strategy was to let him spawn 9 ads, which is 3 different sets of 3, and then after that, continually interrupt his casting, which unfortunately is extremely stressful on me because 9 ads on an off tank start doing a raid boss type damage to the off tank. So if you go beyond 9, the off tank is nearly unhealable from the damage he is taking from the ads. So the stress level on my point on this fight is unusually high, just due to the fact that if I miss one of these interrupts and 3 extra ads spawn, our off tank is going to die and the raid is going to wipe. So a lot of this fight's success is really riding on me during this fight, and it's unbelievably stressful, and I really don't enjoy any attempt that we do on this bastard, quite honestly, because I don't mind, dodging attacks. I don't mind staying out of the bad or anything like that because it's really a typically easy mechanic. But as soon as you start bringing in elements that require me to really bring in a mechanic that determines whether the attempt is successful or not, then that becomes unbelievably stressful. And if you're incredibly stressed during a raid attempt, it really leaves a lot of room open for errors to happen. And so during this entire match, I'm not actually watching any of this fight. Like, recording the audio for this fight is really the first time that I'm really watching this fight because the only thing that I have my eyes focused on during this entire encounter is his cast bar that I have above the target's unit frame to the right of my character on the screen there, because anytime I see him summoning the apparitions, I believe they're called, I am hitting W to make my character walk forward to cancel anything he is currently casting, and then hitting my hotkey for wind shear to stop that casting, because if I miss any of those that are not intended to go through, then our off tank is going to have 12 ads on him, which is absolutely unhealable in any situation. So, I I must say that quite honestly, from my personal perspective of this fight, I really don't enjoy it all that much, simply because the role I take in this fight is so pinnacle to its success. Now, I don't mind taking a standpoint. I don't mind leading a raid or anything like that. I don't have a problem with leadership, but when you have a mechanic of an entire raid encounter that is put onto your shoulders, that if you mess up, the the raid is going to wipe, then you really have to work very hard on your timing and everything like that, because if you screw up, the raid is going to wipe. So Maloriak here is actually a very interesting encounter for me, because every other raid encounter that we've done so far, whether it be Omnitron or Valiona and Thoralion, I've never personally on my end had a mechanic that I had to watch out for like this before. So on the one hand, it was interesting because it is fun taking an entire mechanic worth of the boss and putting it into your hands and saying, this is my responsibility, and if I succeed in this, then the raid is going to succeed. So, I mean, it is really a half and half scenario where, a lot of the success is on my shoulders, but it is I don't want to make it sound like it's on my shoulders, because there's 9 other people here that all have to do their jobs. But for the particular apparitions mechanic, it's really a very interesting mechanic as far as the raid boss goes, because I haven't had this amount of responsibility in really any encounter through the Burning Crusade or Wrath of the Lich King, and certainly not back in vanilla when I was just a healer. So this fight was actually really stressful for me, and once again, I'm quite sure that just by watching the video, it seems like a very easy mechanic that we go through here. But there is always a lot more going on, and I've actually had a few people ask why I don't just record the vent audio instead of doing a post-fight just dub over of these fights. And quite honestly, it's because the raid ventrilo audio is really not all that interesting to listen to, quite honestly, because it's really just the raid leaders calling out the same information over and over. Red phase stack, blue phase spread out, green phase, burn the ads. And I just think that from a viewer standpoint, it's a little more interesting to hear, a person talk during a fight rather than the ventrilo audio. And you just saw Maloriak die for the first time, and that is yet another pandemic first. So I hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you around for the next one.